Jordan Poole has been one of the biggest breakout stories of the NBA this season. When he was thrust into the starting lineup in the absence of Klay Thompson this season, he's been able to exhibit his multi-level scoring capabilities and flashed a ton of upside that I'm not sure a ton of people outside of the Warriors fan base really saw coming. When you look at what we saw from him his rookie season, it comes as even more of a surprise that he's gotten to the point that he's at. He was always willing to shoot ever since his rookie year, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was knocking them down. In fact, he shot a pretty abysmal 27.9% from 3 on 4.6 attempts per game, and he recorded a 45.4% true shooting percentage, one of the worst marks in the entire league that year. Fast forward to now, and Jordan Poole has completely changed the perception of him as a player, being one of the league's premier three-point threats and showcasing a really impressive scoring arsenal. He's looked so good lately that it's probably time to start asking the question, do the Warriors have a future star on their hands with Jordan Poole? And in this video, I'm going to be answering that question, going over everything that Jordan Poole does for the Warriors, how he's going to be crucial for them in the playoffs, and why he's deserving of being labeled as a future star. But really quick, only 5% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if you love the NBA and you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and it helps me out a lot. With all of that being said, let's get right into it. Jordan Poole is very easily having the best season of his very young career so far, putting up 17.3 points per game on 36.2% shooting from 3 on 7 attempts per game. While it's not the only area of scoring he's capable of, I do want to talk about his perimeter ability first and what he's shown this year. He's one of the only players in the entire league shooting 36% or higher from 3 on 7 or more attempts per game, and I feel as though we've kind of become numb to 36% three-point shooters, but the truth is, that's still very impressive, especially on such a high volume. Poole is still only 22 years old, and it's only his 3rd year in the league, so it's not unlikely that this percentage won't continue to climb as he grows as a player. He plays with this unpredictability when it comes to creating his own shot from beyond the arc, and it makes him really tough to guard on the perimeter. He's got this shifty ball handling ability, and since it's hard to tell when he's going to drive and when he's going to try and pull up, the defense has to constantly be on their toes. He's got a really nice step back too, and he's gotten really good at using screens to get some space to pull. As a matter of fact, he's been one of the best in the NBA at generating points off of screens. That's unsurprising when you consider the fact that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are also among the best at this, so he's probably learned a thing or two since joining them. This three-point shooting complements his finishing ability really well, an aspect of his game that is shown through this season more than ever. The threat of his finishing forces the defense to not overcommit, and the threat of his three-point shooting means that if they sag off of him too much, he'll be able to pull up for an open shot. Not only is he a 70% shooter at the rim, he's also been really good at hitting floaters this season. That crafty ball handling ability is on full display when he decides he wants to get to the rim. Not only is he just a really fast guy, but his first step almost has this stuttering and shiftiness to it that it puts the defense off balance and flat-footed when he attacks the basket. He also gets up in the air so early on some of his layups that it can throw the defense off. On this play, you'll see that he takes off from outside of the paint, and then he just gently guides the ball into the basket. The level of athleticism and skill and finesse that this requires is pretty crazy, and Jordan Poole exhibits it on a nightly basis. He also does a great job of angling his body around the defense to keep the ball protected. Here, when he initiates the drive, he's just going to keep his back against the defender, and then when he gets close to the paint, you'll see that he takes that right foot and he plants it in front of the defender to give himself a springboard and force the defense behind him so he can get the shot off and even try to draw contact in the back for a foul. His finishing ability at the rim is legit. He's going to be a slashing threat for a really long time. You pair this rim finishing ability with his really solid floater game and you've got something scary going. This is another area of his game where you can tell that he's learned from Steph. I keep using the word unpredictable to describe Jordan Poole, and I think that really is the best way to describe his scoring ability. He can shoot threes, he can finish, and the fact that he has the ability to rise up from floater range and reliably knock down those tougher, shorter mid-range shots says a ton about his upside as a scorer. And he's even a capable mid-range scorer, albeit on limited attempts this season. He's shooting 46.7% on mid-range shots with 1.4 attempts per game, which doesn't really sound mind-blowing on that few attempts, but when you consider how diverse of a scorer he already is, he's starting to shape up to look like a true 3-level threat. The 91% free throw shooting is just an added bonus too. He's attempting the 6th most free throws per game among his draft class, and once he starts to really leverage that ability to draw contact, he's going to make teams pay when they send him to the line. This scoring ability alone makes me confident that he's got enough to become an all-star, but his playmaking ability is an area where I can see him improving to help raise that ceiling even higher. It's certainly not his role right now, given that he has guys like Steph and Draymond playing alongside him, offering playmaking in their own right, but he's flashed some promising secondary playmaking ability that's had me raising my eyebrows every now and then. The fact that he's becoming such an all-around scoring threat is going to do wonders for opening up passing lanes for him. He's going to start drawing more and more defensive attention, and as long as he's able to make the right reads, he can start to create some scoring opportunities for his teammates simply from his scoring gravity. We can see that scoring gravity here. He's going to drive into the paint, and when he gets past man, 𝙖𝙗𝙤𝙪 is forced to pull more towards the paint, which leaves Kuminga wide open in the corner, and then when 𝙖𝙗𝙤 commits towards Poole, he kicks it to Kuminga and he knocks down the shot. On this play, he makes a much more advanced read, with Bridges coming out to guard him and Johnson focusing more on Wiggins in the corner. Draymond makes a perfect cut, and Poole just slings it to him for an easy bucket. I don't anticipate him being a guy dropping 10 plus assists per game, primarily because it's just not his role in the offense, but he could most definitely provide 5 to 6 assists per game down the road as his role as a primary ball handler grows. So the question to me is not if Jordan Poole is going to be a future star, the question is why can't he be? He's got more of those star level tools than most guys of his age, and he's shown it in large enough sample sizes that it's really hard to call any of it a fluke at this point. He's being mentored by one of the best offensive engines in the entire NBA right now, so that alone should provide Warriors fans with a ton of confidence in his upside as an offensive centerpiece. The fact that the Warriors have guys like Poole, Kuminga, and Moody makes them a really interesting team to watch long term. Even when Steph and Klay and Draymond are entering the later years of their career, these younger guys can step into bigger roles as they develop and continue Golden State's ability to contend even as these older guys age into the twilight of their careers. Jordan Poole and Kuminga create a really interesting dynamic as a two-man young core, and they still have James Wiseman, who, even though he's been struggling with some injuries this season and getting back to play, I think once he's back, this team is going to have Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and James Wiseman as their young core to move forward with into the future, and I think that's more than a lot of teams have going for them, and they still have Steph Curry, Klay, and Draymond. Assuming the Warriors keep making smart signings and developing young talent, there's no reason that this team can't continue to compete for many years to come. And for Poole, based on everything that we've seen from him over the last year, the sky truly is the limit for what he can eventually become. He's going to play a pretty integral role for them in the playoffs, providing a really big scoring punch when Steph and Klay are having off nights. He can brunt some of the scoring load and go off for 30 on a given night if he's called upon to help put up numbers in the scoring column. He's just another problem that defenses are going to have to try and game plan for, and he takes attention off of Steph and allows him to go to work as well. So, do you think that Jordan Poole is a future all-star? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Like I said earlier, only 5% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoyed this video and you love the NBA, why not hit that subscribe button and leave a like? It's free and it really helps me out a ton. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.